What's up, guys? It is really good to be back, and today I'm going to start off with a disclaimer and a story. So this is a watch video, and I am not a watch guy. Normally I just wear a G-Shock or an Apple Watch, but recently my curiosity got stirred up, and so I thought I actually want to learn more about mechanical watches. And what's the best way to do that? Well, probably to buy one. I mean, I do have some watches, but I thought buy a serious watch or kind of an entry-level watch and then make a video about it, research it, learn it, and share it with you guys. And so that's exactly what I did. A couple weeks ago, I actually ordered a Tudor Black Bay 58 ceramic case. It was all blacked out, beautiful watch. And that night after I'd ordered it, I went to sleep and I was tossing and turning. I felt really bad. Like, I spend a decent amount of money on stuff, you know, camera equipment and guns mostly, but that $6K for a watch actually really bothered me. So when I woke up in the morning, I canceled that order from Tudor, and instead I ordered this from Longines. Okay, and so what we have here is the Longines Legend Diver, and this is reference L37742509, and it is a all black version, just like the Tudor that I had ordered, but there's a little bit more nuance to this story. So when I first ordered the Longines Legend Diver, it was promptly delivered. I think I did an overnight, and I opened up the package to discover missing parts in a disassembled watch, and it was a terrible experience, and I was really, really mad because they just took a good chunk of change from me, and they sent me an incomplete watch. And so I sent it back. I wrote an angry email, and they quickly corrected it. They sent me a new watch with all the parts, the strap correctly attached and everything. And that's what we have today. So without further ado, let's just get into it. All right, just looking at that, we have a beautiful box within a box, and I should note that this box came within a separate box. So evidently when it comes to watches, the more money you spend, the more cardboard boxes you have to unpack. So when we open this, we'll discover another box. And taking back the wrapping, just gonna ease this out. Now we've graduated from cardboard to wood. And so here we have it, a nice large box. The only things in this are some wrappings, as well as a warranty card and some other pieces. I'm just gonna get this out of the way. And so let's see what we've got here. All right, so as you can see, this is the presentation. This is what I'm opening to. And this is very similar to how my first Legend Diver arrived, except you can see here, praise the Lord, the strap is attached. And it looks like it has everything included. There's some stickers with the model number listed on them. The watch is protected and covered. Another sticker. Obviously we have the little watch roll here, and then this little base lifts out, and there's a book going over the history of Longines. And so I'm just gonna put this all in, and there's a nice little plaque that says the Longines Legend Diver watch. It looks like some of the text has actually been rubbed off, so that is unfortunate, but we're gonna move on. So here we have the watch, and I'm just gonna get this plastic off, and then I'm gonna have a lot to talk about. So let's see here. First of all, have you ever ordered a luxury watch before? Because this is my first watch that maybe is considered luxury by some people. I mean, I personally don't consider this a luxury watch, but I could see why some people might give it that name. And I think that has more to do with the price tag than anything. but I think that this is just kind of your ordinary watch. It's not anything spectacular, and that's actually why I bought it. I thought that this is going to be a good ordinary watch. I'm an ordinary guy. I like stuff that doesn't catch attention. So just when we're going through this, and I'm going to throw some B-roll up so it's not just me talking, we're going to start with the clasp. So we have a PVD coated clasp, and it deploys like so. It's very, very plain. It doesn't feel particularly nice or anything. You know, it's a cheap clasp. That's what I can say. From the clasp, we go to the rubber bracelet, and it's a good thick rubber. It's quite flexible. It is a little bit squeaky, if you can hear that. So hopefully it's quieter on the wrist, but I'm used to rubber straps. You know, most G-Shocks are kind of plasticky rubber, and they're quite comfortable. I think they're a utilitarian, and that's why I enjoy them. Going from the strap, we get to the case, and we have a beautiful, beautiful black PVD coated case. Nice finish all around. There's a diver motif on the back. It's closed case back, and this is a compressor style case. So in like the 1950s and 60s, when dive watches were really picking up, a compressor case was a design that would tighten as you went to lower depths. You know that you have water pressure pushing in all around you as you sink deeper and deeper in the water, and as that pressure increases, it would actually tighten the tolerances on the watch. And so this is designed after that original compressor case, and so it has this neo-vintage look to it. It's actually quite enjoyable. Now, it is very simple. The main thing with the case to notice is it is a rather thick watch, although I think that it's going to wear smaller than it actually is, simply just because it's black. Black watches tend to look smaller. And then it has a 22 millimeter lug width, and that's wider than most standard watches. So this being a 42 millimeter diameter watch, that's larger than most people could wear. There's a 39 millimeter option, which I would recommend for the majority of people. Then the last thing on the case is there are two crowns, one at the 2, one at the 4. The one at the 2 adjusts your time and your date, and the one at the 4 adjusts the internal rotating bezel. So let's get on to some of the more internals. With it, we have a black lacquer dial, which is featuring minimal text, and it has a lot of good symmetry to it. It's very plain. I actually like the color of the texts. The numbers are in Arabic numerals. I wouldn't say a true Arabic numeral, but it says Arabic numerals on Longines' website, and it has good symmetry to it. It's very plain and unassuming, and it has a nice little date window snuck in there, but it's very well balanced. And that is all behind a sapphire crystal, which is what's to be expected. This watch does have an impressive 300 meters of water resistance, so it is a true dive watch. It's ISO compliant in that fashion. But let's talk a little bit more about this. So to me, the most important complication, besides the fact it tells time, is the date. Now let's talk about what makes this watch unique. It has an internal rotating bezel. If you're familiar with dive watches at all, then you probably know things like the Rolex Submariner or the Omega Seamaster. These are all dive watches that have external rotating bezels. And the idea of the bezels that you would rotate it to set your zero time when you enter the water and start using your oxygen, because you can only dive for a certain amount of time. And by setting that, you would know how long you've been under, whether it's 15 minutes, 30, etc. And you could quickly calculate that. The fear was that if you're underwater, you're working or something, you know, maybe you're welding, you could bump your bezel and it could move your zero, and you could lose track of how long you had been under the water. And so the solution was to put the bezel on the inside and then have a crown to adjust it. And that's a good solution, I think. It's creative. It just kind of throws back to the neo-vintage time that this watch is coming from. Now, I have some more to talk about with this watch. And this is going to be kind of a more qualitative aspect of this video. And I'm going to try and go as quickly as I can. This watch has a L888 movement, which is it's based off of an ETA movement, which makes sense since Longines is part of the Swatch group. They have access to ETA movements. But it's told to come with a reported accuracy of -5 to +8 seconds a day. And generally when we hear that, we'd think, wow, that's not very good. But I want to squash that. I want everyone to recognize that that is amazing accuracy. I think that we take it for granted, the engineering that goes into mechanical watches. So I put together a couple of statistics or analogies to make this crystal clear for you guys. So even though I'm not a watch guy, and I know that this movement isn't extraordinary or earth-shattering, it really is in some way. In some way it is an engineering miracle, and all mechanical watches are engineering miracles. So I'm going to explain this. Because we have quartz watches, we have phones, we have atomic clocks. Any inaccuracy kind of rubs us wrong. You know, -5 to +8 seconds a day. That's kind of annoying, right? You have to correct it every couple of days or whatever. But the truth is that in a day we have 24 hours, okay, 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in every minute. And that works out to be a grand total of 86,400 seconds a day. And so when you're saying that you have 13 seconds that you could be off out of the 86,400, that gives you 1.50462963 times 10 raised to the -4th. And what that is a margin of error, or a difference of about 1/100% per day. All right, that's a percent of a percent per day. That's amazingly accurate. If this were golf, okay, just think through this with me here. If this were a game of golf, you would have to hit a hole-in-one from every single tee in the PGA Tour in every single tournament for about 10 seasons before missing. Okay? And I could, walk you through the math. We'd say there's about 40 tournaments in a single PGA season, 18 holes. Okay, you can get what I'm getting at. Essentially, you would have to play perfectly for 10 years before making a mistake, and that would give you the same accuracy as this watch. And maybe you don't have to hit holes in one, but you would have to at least play at par for 10 straight years before making a true error. That's unbelievable. That's not even in the realm of possibility, and that will never happen. Okay? If Tiger Woods didn't do that, it's not possible. In basketball, if you played in the NBA and you had the same free throw attempts as, say, Steph Curry, who shoots like 4 free throws per game for his career, you would have to play in an 82-game season for 20 seasons and make every single free throw for those 20 seasons to have the same accuracy as this watch. 20 seasons. Okay, that's, again, it's impossible. And it just goes to show how amazing a mechanical watch is and an automatic watch is. Let me just bring it home one last time. Remember that game of golf? Those 10 seasons that you have to play on the PGA Tour? Well, it's being played right now on something that's 42 millimeters in diameter. All right? Or those NBA games, they're going on right now inside this little, 12 and a half or whatever, 15 millimeter thick case. It's all happening there. The accuracy, the tolerances, the resistance, the friction, everything is down to microns. Because one little mistake in there is going to go through all the gears and all the springs, and it's going to be compounded. So the fact that this is only a margin of error of 13 seconds per day blows me away. We should all be in awe of this, and I rest my case. Now, besides just being a nice watch to look at, very plain, utilitarian, it fits my personality, it fits my use case for said watch. Okay? I don't like watches that are flashy. I'm not buying for the hype. I'm not buying to get attention. I'm just buying because I'm going to use it. And I'm going to wear it. I'm going to beat it up. I'm going to take it fishing. I'm going to take it hiking. It's going to get scratched, used, etc. And we should all make a better effort to use our watches. There's no reason to have something sit on the shelf and collect dust. All right. This is a humble tool watch. It's neo-vintage, but it's still useful. It's an engineering marvel, and I'm excited to get better acquainted with it, to use it more frequently, and to push it to the limits. That's all that I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, leave a comment, as always, subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoy some B-roll now.